The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact
The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
when it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited. That's right. You're invited, brothers and sisters. That's right. You are invited. May 22nd to our new Hebrew and Bible Academy, in which we'll be going into brand new lessons, okay? Hey, if you don't understand the doctrine of the Bible, the correct way of going into it, and to understanding the Bible literally, you would want to be a part of this academy, okay? We need to stop trying to deal with the Bible metaphorically according to specific doctrines based on denominations and all these other facets of divisions that's really been put out there to divide the Christ's church, to divide Christ's church with multiple doctrines. That's right. The Bible tells us in the book of Ephesians, one Lord, one faith, one baptism. All people in the earth should be learning one doctrine. Shouldn't be a billion names for God. There shouldn't be a billion names for Christ. Okay? That's ridiculous. There's only one language that's spoken in the heavens, and that's the ancient Hebrew, which we teach in our academy. Okay? There shouldn't be no different denominations, even of Israelite groups. All Israel was under the cloud and learned one command through Moses. There should not have been all these different sects who defied Christ during the time when He was on the earth, fighting against the mainstream power structure controlled through Satan, which are the Roman power. On top of that, having to fight His own people to see that He was the truth and the life. There shouldn't be all these dynamics concerning whether or not Christ is black or white, and all these other dynamics. Divisiveness is a tool of the devil. Christ stated, a nation divided against itself cannot stand. And that's right. That's why the Most High brought forth organically the gathering of Christ's church. And this is why we have that Hebrew and Bible Academy. That's right. So please, if it interests you, if you want to understand the Bible, and you might be a person who thought you had a grasp on certain things concerning theology coming out of the Christian church. You probably a person who gave up in believing in the Bible altogether, or thought that it was some type of man-made book based on the examples of those who are upholding the Bible erroneously. Even if you are an atheist, don't worry. Come in to the Hebrew and Bible Academy to understand the value of this book called the Bible. I'm going to tell you right now, the Bible came directly from the heavenly tables, which is the stars, heaven. And it was just made what? It was just made for us to understand in a book. But it was in the heavens first. Come learn your book, Hebrew and Bible Academy, and that's right. The enrollments are open starting May 22nd. Now, if you wish to enroll, go to historytimes.org. historytimes.org. It only costs $75 for 1 month. First month, $75 for the second month. The third month, don't worry about it. It's all encompassed. $150 cover the full 3 months. Sit back and understand. That's right. The true understanding of your book, which is the Hebrew, which is the Bible. And keep in mind, all are invited, Jews and Gentiles alike. Now, and tomorrow, let me make an announcement. I'll be going into, that's right, they're setting their nest amongst the stars. Will be our Sabbath lesson tomorrow. That's right, going right into eventually breaking down the creation of the universe, where it all began, the heavenly throne. That's right, the powers that be, these Satanists on the earth, called scientists, have come together with one accord under demonic forces, principalities and powers in high places to get back out into the cosmos. And the technology has been assumed, with them using HARP, with them using different types of systems that would open up portals so that these Satanists, called scientists and politicians, can help their Lord, that's right, into the cosmos to fight against God in the battle of Armageddon. Everything I've just mentioned here is what? A biblical narrative that was prophesied, that they would fight on the outside of this firmament. That's right, folks. So I'm going into that tomorrow, though they set their nest amongst the stars. Okay? There's no planets out there. Everything they're saying is a lie. So that the citizens of this earth don't realize our tax money is going against funding Satanists to battle against the God you claim to believe in. Okay? All right. So I'm going into that tomorrow, though they set their nest among the stars, and how they've demonized the coming of our Lord Christ, making it seem as if he's a space invader, that he's coming to impose himself on the people, like something dark, evil, sinister is coming from space. We're going to be going into that tomorrow, brothers and sisters. Though they set their nest among the stars, the fight will come here. The invisible fight of realms will eventually come into this earth. And in the Hebrew and Bible Academy, the creation of the universe, we're going to show you that whole narrative. We're going to break it down for you like you've never seen before. Life before earth. In our lesson, first week of the Hebrew and Bible Academy, that's right, the creation of the universe. But this time we're going to deal with it different. We're going to deal with it from the celestial characters only, showing you the characters in the Bible, how it went. Life before earth will be the narrative, will be the highlight for creation of the universe. There was life before earth was created, and we're going to let you know what was there, what was that life, what were the name of those lives, and how it eventually came to this realm. That's right. And we're going to be going into the power of the Ark of the Covenant. That's right. And how the Most High will utilize it to help free our people at the very end. The Ark of the Covenant will be given back to our people. The greatest weapon ever known to man. A clean weapon that only targets the enemies of God. Okay? The earth stays unscathed through this powerful weapon called the Ark of the Covenant. We're going to be talking about that and more. So if this interests you, go to historytimes.org. 12 full weeks of information. On top of that, you have Elder Lawya with the Hebrew and myself and Elder Rawchaa breaking down the news, current events, what's going on in the earth. And yes, hey, and we have the lesson sent to your email. There's no setup like this anywhere in the earth. We guarantee you'll love this experience. On top of that, the guest today, Truman Burst. And I'm going to see if I can have him come in for 10, 15 minutes ever so often within the academy to give us herbal tips, knowing that what? Our health is under attack. Again, if this interests you, go to historytimes.org. Now, folks, you see the title today and our topic of discussion for Patreon. You see it. Is there a conspiracy to keep us sick? See? Is there a conspiracy to keep us sick? It seems like, is it me, or are we inundated with all these commercials concerning sicknesses? Do you have this problem? Do you have that problem? Cancer this, erectile dysfunction, infertility, and do you need this? Everything. It seems like the pharmaceuticals have purchased up all of what? The commercial time. It seems as if a lot of these mainstream media conglomerates out there cannot survive unless they get that financial load, that bag that comes from pharmaceuticals, which is really propping up what's left of the mainstream media, right? It seems like they want us to accept cancer and fight cancer and all this other stuff instead of saying, you know what? Wouldn't the world be better if there weren't any sicknesses? Okay. Wouldn't the world be better if we told people the cause for sicknesses and give remedies to heal like Christ did? It's as if they're desensitizing us to sicknesses so that when we get sick, we'll look at it as something normal. Oh, well, everyone's sick, so sickness leads to death, folks. Death came through disobedience. And there's no way we should feel comfortable being mentally ill and physically ill. That's nothing to be normalized and to actually champion at some level of accomplishment because, yeah, I had cancer and I overcame cancer. Nah, if you are a true fighter, you want to find the origin of it so that we can protect our people from getting it. Hence the reason we have Truman on today. We have Truman on today. Conspiracy to keep us sick, folks. And there's some articles I want to go over before I bring Truman in and segue over into Patreon. We'll have an hour of Patreon with our herbal doctor who works with us, who helps the brothers and sisters throughout the earth within the church. He's going to go into some detailed insight on what we can do, knowing that there could be a conspiracy to make us sick. And a lot of you probably don't realize there's things out there, herbs out there, natural ways of actually helping with certain symptoms we experience, like during allergy season. Are we under attack? Are we under attack during allergy season? What are they spraying in the air? Who knows? All I know, if I go outside, I see a gray sky, no clouds, and it looks what? Look like there's some a metallic haze, a dark metallic haze out there. What is this about? Is it contributing to our sicknesses? I don't know. But I know this, the Most High made the herbs to heal. Okay. So it seems as if there's a conspiracy to normalize sicknesses so that when we see people sick, coughing, and all that, you know what I mean? We don't see this as something strange or evil. We don't see this as some type of bio weapon that have been utilized in the earth. It's like we're normalizing sicknesses and no one out there is resisting it. So here it is. If you're natural, if you love life, you love the Most High, and you love God, you don't champion having a sickness and overcoming it. You get to the basis, you get to the bottom of it and try to figure out, where did these diseases come from? And how do we avoid these diseases? And also, how do we tell our people and teach our people how to avoid them like Christ would? Right? So I'm going to bring in Truman in a moment. But also on top of this, I'm going to show you what we're going to be covering in the weeks to come, because they have now moved from one campaign that has systematically put the people under a form of control for the last 2 years to a new campaign. And all you're going to hear is climate change, climate change, climate change, climate change, climate change, right? And I told people what you see overseas is about to come to the major cities. What you see in third world countries was a beta test for how they're going to totally, that's right, dismantle these cities and have it where you have rolling water, rolling electricity, and all of that, claiming that it's for the embedment of the earth. And this is why they're propping up these sicknesses, because they know as the climate thing get pushed, more people are going to become sick. What happens when you don't have clean water? What happens when you don't have access to water like we've come accustomed to using? What happens when you don't have the finer things in life to live a high quality of life? You're sick. And guess what? They have a plan for you in these hospitals, I bet you. But so let's go here real quick before I bring in my humbled guest. 1 second. Let's go over here. Let's bring it up. Let's see what's going on. Is this a third world country? Let's see. Fair use.
Unprecedented water restrictions being imposed on millions of Southern California residents, and tonight an even tougher warning ahead.
If people don't comply or conditions worsen, outdoor watering could be.
If people don't comply. Man, this is something out of 1984, isn't it? If people don't comply in a free country, if you don't bend to the will of the state.
Of Southern California residents, and tonight an even tougher warning ahead.
If people don't comply or conditions worsen, outdoor watering could be banned completely in some areas.
Outdoor water in the United States can be banned completely to some areas. I wonder what areas they're talking about. Okay, usually they'll show the so-called majority. The majority race suffering or discussing it first. But we know at the end of it what people would be inordinately affected. The poor. Again.
Imposed on millions of Southern California residents, and tonight an even tougher warning ahead.
If people don't comply or conditions worsen, outdoor watering could be banned completely in some areas. Here's a look at some of the areas that could be impacted by the restrictions, spanning across parts of Los Angeles, Ventura, and San Bernardino counties.
KTL.
Didn't we tell you, folks? Didn't we tell you? The banning of water, more sicknesses.
Sandra Mitchell is live in Studio City with more on the restrictions and reaction. Sandra?
Fair use.
Sharon, Micah, it is a harsh new warning tonight. If we don't stop watering our lawns and wasting water, we could end up in a situation where there simply isn't enough to bathe or even to drink.
We need to stop watering our lawns.
Scientists telling me tonight that if things don't improve.
Now, mind you, folks, there is no shortage of water. The earth was made out of waters. Waters are divided from the waters, okay? The earth itself, folks, is 7 parts water.
We could end up in a situation similar to what's happening in South Africa.
Oh, South Africa. Oh, here we go. Did not I tell you this? Didn't we tell you this years ago that they're going to do the same thing?
You're looking at one of the oldest artificial lawns in the city of Los Angeles.
And now we're looking at a prop. We're looking at what you would call one of their useful idiots or actors they put up here to make you believe that he's the good guy. He's the good guy standing for what? Saving the earth.
20 years ago, John Walker installed fake grass in his Studio City yard. Now,
so he's telling y'all get fake grass.
With strict new water restrictions coming to 6 water suppliers from LA to San Bernardino, he's alarmed that his neighbors.
I'm not the water police, so I can't go over and say, hey, man, you shouldn't be doing this now.
Oh yeah, your next door neighbor, even though you probably paid $500,000 in California or upwards for a house, your next door neighbor want to knock on your door and tell you what to do with your property. He want to tell you, man, you shouldn't be watering your lawn.
Are still watering their grass.
And see, it's going to be
useful
satanic deadheads like this.
One of the oldest artificial.
That's going to be utilized to push the agendas like they did the last couple of years.
Lawns in the city of Los Angeles.
20 years ago, John Walker installed fake grass in his Studio City yard. Now with strict new water restrictions coming to 6 water.
Yeah, get some turf, which will cause more sicknesses. We don't want that natural grass. You don't want you breathing that.
Water suppliers from LA to San Bernardino.
Hey, or get a weed killer that's going to cause all types of diseases on your lawn. Die already is what they're telling you.
He's alarmed that his neighbors.
I'm not the water police, so I can't go over and say, hey, man, you shouldn't be doing this now.
Are still watering their grass. Scientists say we should all be concerned.
Scientist is synonymous to Satanist. Satanists say we should all be concerned, folks.
We should take this seriously, not to panic about it.
Satanist.
Dr. Assam Heggie of the USC Water Center says the new Metropolitan Water District goal, reducing average household use from 125 to 80 gallons a day starting June 1st, will make a significant difference. And if we don't comply,
our faith would be similar to many other places, like in South Africa, where people have taken very lightly.
The question is, where are you from, dude? Go home. Go find out what's going on in the water in the country you came from and what's going on with your water. What about that?
The water conservation measure until one day they opened the faucet and there was no water.
Almost 80% of water use here in California goes to sustaining crops. But scientists point out we need that food. We don't need green grass.
And we should be more concerned about sustaining our city, our environment, than just entertaining ourselves with a green backyard.
Back in Studio City,
there go your immigrant minorities, folks. There go your minorities coming in telling you, die already and don't drink water from other countries. There they go.
Many have already switched.
We have sage, we have salvia.
To sprinkler-free yards.
I just think we all have an individual responsibility to help out.
Water officials.
Actors.
Insisting if we don't conserve now, we'll face even more consequences later.
Showers are going to be limited using the
Now, look like this guy got a problem with showers.
toilet is going to be limited. I don't know what the ramifications are, but I think they could be crippling.
Oh, look at the green leaf barely making it through the through the drought here. Folks, they talk about cutting off your water. More sicknesses, which leads us here to what? We must prepare. Truman, please unmute your mic and let's bring in our guest before we segue over into, that's right, we're at 2:00. We have to segue over into Patreon. Dr. Truman Burris, how are you, sir?
I am blessed, and I know that you're blessed as well, my dear brother.
Oh, yeah, I'm blessed by the best, and his name is Ahaya. Let me tell you something here. There's something going on, an attack on the world, maybe our people, in America in particular. I feel like they're trying to do what they did to the third world countries, to bend the people to their will. Make it where the government authorities would be at the acquiesce of the New World Order's new power when it comes to a new structure, under this what you would call global warming thing. And now I believe sicknesses can be a conspiracy to break the will of us living in the West. Now, there's something that you sent in particular. I believe these brothers and sisters, Truman, need to see. That there's a bombshell of them looking to take away all natural supplements that our people have used for health since the beginning of time. Can you shed that on us before I show the article and before we segue over into Patreon? Look like they're about to take away all natural supplements, Truman.
Yes, I just received a report from Alliance for Natural Health, and it's an urgent action alert. We're in serious difficulty here because Senator Durbin, Democrat, Illinois, the supplement regulation that he's trying to put through is threatening 41,000 natural supplements, and it's moving forward on multiple fronts. And we have to respond immediately. For months now, we've been telling you about Senator Durbin's plan to impose new requirements on dietary supplements. These new requirements threaten more than 41,000 products on the market. If we want to preserve the access to these supplements, we need these supplements. We rely on these supplements to stay healthy, and we must contact our elected representatives and let them know, tell them not to support this policy. Here's what we know. Senator Mike Braun, Republican from Indiana, has agreed to join this notorious Senator Durbin, who has been the evil opposition of natural remedies for decades. And Senator Durbin is introducing a new bill. He's introducing a new bill to, and this new bill is to require mandatory product registration for supplements. In other words, every product has to be registered and controlled. This Senator Durbin gave a speech introducing the bill on the Senate floor, but that's not all. Separately, Senator Patty Murray, Democrat, Washington, chair of the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, is independently moving forward with plans to attach a mandatory product registration for supplements to the reauthorization of the Prescription Drug User Fee Act that must pass. It must pass by the end of September. Now, this is a common tactic in Congress, Elder Rawchaa, to enact policies that could not pass on their own. They simply sneak the policy into must-pass legislation and hope no one is paying attention. And we've mentioned previously on our broadcast.
Yeah, do me a favor, Truman. If you don't mind, can you please put your phone on mute?
I am. Let me do that. I think it's. I just realized that it's not on mute. Let me see if I can come over here and. No,
that's your phone, correct?
Yeah, that's my phone.
Yeah, just put your phone on mute. Just go to your phone and just put it on mute, or yeah.
Now let's see. Let me put it on mute.
One second.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. We should be good now.
All right. Go on.
So, what we're talking about is that we previously spoke about this problem that's facing us, and it's coming to us on multiple fronts. uh, coming from also from Senator Braun, a Republican who is now joined that and is now it has the bipartisan support, and Senator Murray and the Help Committee chair supports it. And
So-
President Biden supports it.
So it doesn't.
And-
So
Go ahead.
Truman. So it doesn't matter whether or not you're Democrat or Republican, right?
Yes.
On either side of the aisle, they're looking to knock out natural herbs for healing.
That's right. That's right.
Now, these are the same politicians who are probably funded by a lot of these pharmaceutical companies or connected to a lot of these guys. Who knows? But let me ask you this: what does that mean for you being able to get access to herbs and all that? And I want to talk about that on the other side, really. But what does this mean for you that they're going to pass laws almost making it where you need to register to actually get or to sell herbs? I mean, are they putting this on the same par as guns? Where everything
Yes.
got to be registered, where you have to get a gun, you have to do this, you have to register it for this and register it for that. And now they're making
Yes.
it in a free country. Now, I don't believe anybody out there who voted for these politicians voted for your choice to be taken away when it comes to natural health and getting herbs, opposed to some of the other stuff they're creating in these labs. But I'll digress. Go ahead. Go ahead before we segue over, Truman.
Yeah, this is a disaster for the American population. Why are more supplement regulations such as a priority for these federal authorities? Supplements are overwhelmingly safe. According to the FDA in 2021, the agency received 2,400 adverse event reports related to dietary supplements. To put this in context, according to the FDA's adverse event database in 2021, the FDA received a total of 2,333,453 adverse event reports. And that means that the dietary supplements make up 0.1% of the adverse event reports to the FDA.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Now, there's a lot that we got to talk about on the other side, right? So I want to keep some of this for the Patreon side because I don't want to violate some of the regulations that they have here. They got strict rules on this side of things when it comes to YouTube. So we're going to segue over. But before we go over, let me say this. We're in ology season right now, right?
Yes.
A lot of brothers and sisters don't know that, who knows, maybe some of these ologies are induced in our environment based on what you see outside when there's no longer clouds. There's some strange stuff going on in our rain that's being rained down on us. And brothers and sisters probably want to know before I segue over, right? They would probably want to know, is there anything natural they can do in their areas to adjust to overcome some of the symptoms of allergy? Like when I moved into, like when I went into the Garden State, right, Jersey, one of the people told me that usually you have to get the honey that's produced by the bees in any particular area, and if you use that honey from that area, usually that will have you adjust to the environment of the area and have less allergy symptoms. That's just one tip. If people are having allergies year round, is there some natural things that you can tell our brothers and sisters out there to get that don't have any restrictions, something that our people can have access to help with our allergies here?
Yes, there's a lot of things that we can do about it, but if this legislation is put in place, there's nothing you'll be able to do about it because you won't be able to get these natural remedies. There are supplements that are very helpful for people who have who have allergies. And one of the main things is to get the glandular system working again, because you're going to have allergies if you've got any kind of a glandular disorder with the lymphatic system or the spleen or the pancreas. And we need herbs that stimulate the thyroid and balance the endocrine system. And this helps also to keep a proper heart function as well. And this formulation called Gland Rejuvenator, it also eliminates toxins out of the body. These are the kinds of things that we need to deal with when we're dealing with allergies.
Gland Rejuvenator, you call that. Let me pull that up for the brothers and sisters so they can see what's in it, okay?
Yes.
I just want to give brothers and sisters here on YouTube a little peek into what we'll be talking about in more depth on the other side through Patreon. So let me pull it up here so they can see it, all right? One moment, so they can see it with us. One moment.
Sure.
And what I want to do also on the other side, if you don't mind, Truman, I would like us to also take some phone calls from people asking you questions outright based on sicknesses or whatever they're dealing with right now, okay?
Great idea. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to take some phone calls on the other side, okay? Okay, matter of fact, hey, look, I have your system Gland Rejuvenator right here. Thank you. Right? Gland Rejuvenator. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's too bright. But let me pull it up so that they can see it real quick, all right? One moment. Let me pull it up so they can see what's in it. Now, of course, if you have sicknesses or whatever the case is, you must consult your doctor. Even though this is a doctor, it's more to it than just getting the stuff. Truman has consultations to make sure that these things are right for you under your current health issues, okay? So he's the doctor, but keep in mind you still have to consult your doctor if you're on medication, okay? Now, real quick, here's what's in the Gland Rejuvenator. It says it helps regulate, let me pull it up here. It helps regulate the lymphatic system, stimulates and strengthens the spleen and pancreas. Good stuff. It stimulates the thyroid, balances the endocrine system, and helps to keep the health in proper function. Also, it helps to eliminate toxins. Whoa, this is powerful. Allergies relief. The combination of herbs to help fight allergies includes bayberry, echinacea, wild cherry bark, yarrow, root, cayenne. Here's another one. Bee pollen. Bee pollen. And see, a lot of these things, Truman, if you would like to expound on it, are a lot of these, what you would call formulas. In all your years dealing with herbs, you were able to come up with the proper balance that can help with allergies and help people detox themselves from all the agents that's spraying in the air and all these other things to help have a healthy body as well as mind. Because brothers and sisters, and I've learned this speaking to Truman and others, a lot of us, some of us can't think straight because sicknesses weigh on our cognitive ability. See? So one does what? If you got great health, you have a great mind. And it works in the reverse. If you're battling health and you're sick all the time, it affects your ability to think clearly, and that's where they want us. But go ahead, you can expound on these allergies before we segue over. I just wanted to go over those two you gave me beforehand, and we'll go into more depth on the other side. But go ahead, it's on you now, Truman.
All right. One of the greatest allergy relief preparations it has the name allergy relief. And this allergy relief herbal formula combined with the our glandular formula that's has many different herbs in it, and then when you have this seasonal care formulation that has bayberry root, echinacea root, wild cherry bark, yarrow flowers, golden seal root, a little bit of cayenne in there, and it's made with alkaline structured water, and the minimum amount of alcohol that it will take to preserve that product is 20%. But there are people who don't like alcohol or don't want alcohol in their products. So you can also order that same product in vegetable glycerin, that replaces the alcohol, and then you have an alcohol-free herbal tincture extract. But this one is just loaded with nutrients in it: bayberry root and echinacea, wild cherry, yarrow, golden seal. These are absolutely fabulous against allergies. So this is where we would start with allergies, and then we're going to take a look at the whole body, because of course we are spirit, mind, and body, and we can't ignore any part of that equation. Spiritual, we have to fight the spiritual aspect that evil is trying to make us sick and keep us sick.
That's right.
And we've got to take care of the mind and the body. We've got to take care of everything all at the same time and get things balanced out. And that's where we are. It starts with the spirit. You got to take care of the mind. You got to take care of the body. And that's what they're trying to tell us. The evil people and evil in high places is trying to tell us that none of that matters, that we're just supposed to do what they say, and it doesn't matter what we eat here. Have another hamburger and a soda. And this is not working for us, folks. Mm-hmm. We've got to make those lifestyle changes to build us up. We've got to be spiritually strong, physically strong, and mentally strong, and that's the way to win the war.
Well, this is what I want to talk about on the other side, right? Because what's going on is I noticed that a lot of our diets haven't changed really from the time we were growing up, more so than what's in the food, right? And this is a war. Eventually, the war is going to come at our doors. And if we're not physically and mentally prepared and spiritually prepared to deal with it, of course, our people will be ran over. For the last 2 years, you've seen under the campaign, under the cold, Truman, more so the people who were affected inordinately when it came to all of this were what? Those that were diabetic, those that were overweight. And there must be natural solutions that can help us overcome our obesity rates, or we're not going to be ready physically. And what I would like to talk about on the other side, because you were able to keep yourself in a pretty good shape, and the majority of brothers and sisters would be surprised if you were to expound your age or tell them your age, but you were able to keep yourself in good shape, being an elder, being a senior. And a lot of people, to some of us, it seems impossible that someone could have the cognitive understanding and how you were able to fight Father Time to some degree. I'm going to use that as a metaphor. But really, it goes into you knowing what to put in your body when it comes to weight, how to keep your weight at a certain level. A lot of people don't know there's herbs that help burn things if you can put those in with the proper diet when it comes to losing weight. I want to talk about that on the other side too. And I know we're going to talk about the weight component, because really it seems like they're fattening up the people for the kill, like a turkey, right?
So true.
So we're going to talk about the diet side of things. But before I go there, because I have to segue to Patreon, we got the phone ready now. What I would like to ask you, put out there for our people on YouTube exactly how to reach you, how to get these products for allergies and all that. I will rather do this now, because even though we have a private Patreon thing where we'll do the calls and all that, I don't want to, our brothers and sisters who supported us from the beginning here, who don't want to be on Patreon, I don't want them to lose out on at least being able to have access to some of these great herbs to have stored in their home, knowing that the government right now, our politicians, are planning to ban these herbs from the population. It's being spoken on the floor as we speak. They're looking to take away water, herbs, natural food. So it's best that we can get as much in. A lot of this can be stored as dry goods. So that in the case of emergencies, when stuff breaks down and you can't get to a hospital or doctor, at least you know you have this, you have this in the cupboard, you have this in the basement. How exactly can they get some of this stuff we're talking about, natural herbs, to help them through sicknesses?
Well, it all starts with a member intake form. And you can go on the website, herbalhealthreview.com, and you'll see that member intake form on there under the About tab. So when you're on the About tab, it's going to give you a member intake form. It's free. You fill it out, you send it to me, and I'm able to see what it is that's going on. I pray over that form. I answer all your questions. I create a protocol of what to take, when to take, how to take, so that it takes the mystery out of it. I give you educational material so you understand what it is you're dealing with from two perspectives. One from an allopathic medical perspective, and one from a natural remedies perspective, so you know what's going on, and then you are able to make the choices. Then when I get that member intake form, then you're able to also contact me by telephone. Please don't call me right now while I'm on the broadcast, but after the broadcast and any other time, you can dial 503-362-5899, and I capture every call. So I may not be able to answer the phone because I get a lot of calls, but it captures your telephone number, and then I call you back.
Okay.
But when I get that member intake form, then I've got everything I need there to contact you and work with you. And I don't get anything from the sale of any product. I'm not selling products. I invented the entire product line over the last 60 years because I'm over 81 years old. And
that's incredible.
I'm in incredible health. I mean, the Lord has preserved me to do this work. I'm 140 pounds, 5'6", and I have a muscular body. I've got powerful muscled arms. I've got an alligator stomach at 81 years old.
And they're doing everything they can to get rid of these natural herb guys, and that's why I'm glad we have you tucked away in an undisclosed location. Now,
yes,
hey, sir, I want to make it to where you are. I want to be able to have a sound mind, strong body, and let me ask you: are you on any pharmaceutical drugs at all at the age over 81, Truman?
No, I haven't been to a medical doctor in about 10 years.
And you're currently not on nothing. You're on zero phermaceutical drugs.
Zero. I don't need pharmaceutical drugs. We've got all these natural remedies. It keeps me powerful. It keeps me energized, and I'm spiritually blessed. I'm physically blessed. I'm mentally blessed. All praises to the Most High.
Oh man, I can't wait for the phone calls, because I'm sure people are going to come in. They have a lot of questions. Let me ask you, I'm just curious. This is my question. I'm trying to cheat, y'all. I know y'all have your own questions when you call in through Patreon. I'm going to cheat a little bit. If someone was to get bitten by a snake, Truman, just say if they were out, like I was living in Greece and different parts of the islands where you couldn't go into the snake patch. I mean, you couldn't go into the banana patch because they had these little black snakes there. I remember one time I was in a car. We was in a car, and a snake was in the car, and I jumped out of the car with one move. You know, I had my old moves that I used to jumped out with one move, boom, and I was done. And we got a stick to get the snake out of the car. And the villagers told me, they was like, listen, if you would have been bitten by that snake, sir, you would have had at least 20 minutes before you suffocated, right? So somehow it began to shut down the organs and cause suffocation. If someone came to you and you were in the wild with no access, where there was no access, wilderness, to a hospital or doctor, what would you do? What would you suggest someone do in that case after they've been bitten by a snake?
Well, and it's a big problem, snake bite, and it depends on the type of snake that bites you as well. So it depends. If it's a rattlesnake or a water moccasin or
okay. Let's just pick up one. A rattlesnake. Someone's bitten by a rattlesnake. They come to you and say, "Listen, man, there's no hospitals or doctors around. What am I to do?"
Well, first of all, the rattlesnake has a venom of a rattlesnake, contains neurotoxins that attack the nervous system. And the symptoms include severe pain, drooping eyelids, low blood pressure, excessive thirst, tiredness, vision, difficulty swallowing and speaking, muscle weakness, difficulty in breathing and respiratory failure, a metallic taste, synopy, hermatimesis, vomiting blood, and a chest pain are possible.
Hold up. That sounds eerily similar to some of the symptoms I've been hearing for the last couple of years, but I digress. And wink, wink. So I'm going to ask you, how would you help someone under those circumstances in a jungle, no access to a hospital?
Well, there are some natural remedies you can use.
Like what?
Lavender essential oil will help the feeling of stress and anxiety. The feeling of stress and anxiety is universal after a snake bite. So remaining calm is still essential, particularly when bitten by a venomous snake. As an increased heart rate, that can cause toxins to spread more quickly. So you use a few drops of lavender essential oil.
So don't panic.
And you put it behind your ears. You sniff it directly out of the bottle to speed some relief of calming you down. Tea tree oil after a snake bite. You clean the area thoroughly. It's important to using a natural antibacterial cleanser, specifically one that contains tea tree oil.
I have some of that. I have some of that too. Come on.
And you wrap it with a clean, dry bandage, and you do not wrap it too tightly. You follow the directions. If 911, you follow directions. If 911 instruct you not to cleanse the area, particularly after a rattlesnake, copperhead, or coral snake, or water moccasin bite.
What about the venom? The venom is in them now. How do they rid themselves of the venom?
Okay, now you're taking echinacea.
Echinacea
is a powerful immune system booster, a pain reliever, and an anti-inflammatory. It fights infections and is useful in wound healing. The research shows that Echinacea purpura root extract reduces the regulatory T cell numbers and function, enhancing immune system function. If you've been treated for a venomous snake bite, talk to your doctor before taking an echinacea supplement, as it may interact with the prescribed medications. Follow the recommended guidelines for dosing. Only purchase a high-quality echinacea supplement. Next, let's take a look at coconut oil, because coconut oil fights bacteria, viruses, and parasites, and coconut oil has been shown to aid in the healing of wounds.
Okay.
You will apply a small amount of coconut oil to the wound and wrap it with a bandage to speed the healing. A study published in the Journal of Skin Pharmacology and Physiology found that when applied coconut oil, when applied topically, it treats wounds and healed them much faster than the 2 other control groups. Then we get some turmeric, curcumin, turmeric. After a trauma, you absorb a toxin like a snake bite. You may feel inflammation, pain, and continuing adverse effects for days, weeks, or even months. Taking a high-quality turmeric supplement and adding turmeric to your diet can also ease the pain and reduce the inflammation. However, if snake bite was from a venomous snake, check with your doctor prior to taking it, as some types of snake venom affect blood coagulation. So that's what we're going to do.
So, hold up. I need to end this with, this is interesting. Blood coagulation.
Yes.
What would someone do in those instances?
Then you're going to use that turmeric and a lot of it.
And I'm glad you said that turmeric, because a lot of brothers and sisters probably don't know that turmeric is something that can be used in food. You can put it in their food.
That's
so
right.
if we used to cooking, that's why when the Indians come over here, they got all these herbs in their food, and you see them. You very rarely, not absolutely, but you very rarely see the Asians obese and all that. Is because they're naturally having these anti-inflammatories and all that as part of their diet within the food they cook. So a lot of us have to start incorporating some of these things in our natural foods to ward off these things that have to ward off, instead of having a worse symptom when we have a snake bite. Right? We've already got in front of it by incorporating turmeric and all these other herbs for life within our diets by preparing our foods with it. Now, if y'all like this, don't worry about it. We have another 30 to 40 minutes. That's right. That a conversation with the doctor on Patreon. 515-605-9327. I need y'all to come on over. If you're not on Patreon, Patreon.com/agathering144. We kept it minimal where it's very low to actually be a part of our weekly Patreon. And you know what we want to talk about also? When it comes to cancer, what is cancer? How do we heal? How do we do certain things when it comes to it? What is cancer? And what is the remedy according to God for it? We're going to talk about that. Did the Most High put herbs in the earth that would naturally target and help us with certain things such as cancer? Who knows? Well, we're going to ask that question and more on the other side with Patreon. Patreon.com/agathering144. That's right. Conversation with the doctor. How do they reach you again, Dr. Truman, before we segue over?
I'm sorry, say again?
How the brothers and sisters on, we have what? Here it is. Man, look at this out of nowhere. We have here about, hey, that's good for an impromptu update. An impromptu update, we got almost 1,500 people in here. They probably would like to know, Doc Truman, how would they reach you after this with more questions? They may have some sicknesses they would like to talk to you about so that you can get some of these packages to them if needed. How would they reach you again?
The best way to reach me is by email, and it's Truman. My email address is truman@herbalhealthreview.com. The website where I publish all my work is herbalhealthreview.com. Best way to reach me, Truman@herbalhealthreview.com.
Truman, Herbal Relief Review?
Truman@herbalhealthreview.com.
Review.
Truman at.
Okay.
Truman at herbalhealthreview.com.
Okay, that's how you reach them. And put your phone number out there so they can reach you. You got Go ahead.
Yeah, right. Just please don't call me until this broadcast is over.
Yeah.
503-362-5899. 503-362-5899.
Yeah, and I know you do Skype consultations also. What is the email if someone would like to email you out there and they have family members who might be dealing with some sicknesses or whatever and have tried pharmaceuticals, but things, things are looking gray, how would they contact you so that you can give them a consultation concerning sicknesses with their family?
Again, that would be Truman at herbalhealthreview.com. Truman at herbalhealthreview.com.
Okay.
Phone number, please don't call me right now, but 503-362-5899.
Okay. Okay.
503-362-5899.
Say that once more. I'm sorry. There's a delay with us. Once more.
503-362-5899.
Okay, so what we're going to go into on the other side, right? Immediately. What can we do? What herbs we can take to help us lose the weight with a good diet? That's number one. Number two, you already went through the venom, so I'm glad we talked about that. We're going to talk about what is cancer and is there any natural things out there that can help us with that. And we're going to leave it open. We're in allergy season. Some people have allergies year round. How do we fight these allergies? So I'll tell you what. We're going to start with allergies first, weight second, and then we're going to talk about the other things, inflammation and other things that could be deemed cancer. All right? There you go. There you go. All right. Thank you, all our loyal YouTube followers. We love you. Thank you for supporting the church. May the Most High bless you going into this Sabbath. Stay prayed up, sin not. We will soon see Zion. If you would like to, join us over here on Patreon, and we're going to jump right in with the phone calls. Also, again, there's going to be a new Hebrew and Bible Academy May 22nd. You don't want to miss that, where we'll be going into, that's right, the heavens. Life before earth is what we're going to be going into. How long did it take God to make what we call the heavens and the earth? And what is the purpose for this place we call earth? Folks, this is home. But understand this. There will be an invasion. Okay? Heaven is coming to earth. And we're going to show you what that is. Hell will be destroyed. A place for judgment within the earth. And those who followed the fallen ones who was here, folks, before earth, banished to earth as a prison. This is a prison to the fallen ones who control your politicians and scientists. We're going to be going into that and more in the Hebrew and Bible Academy. Portals, the gateway between heaven and earth, the power of God in the portals. We're going to also be going into, that's right, finding the Ark of the Covenant and the power of it. How the Most High will use this artifact that was given to our forefathers, the Israelites. How he will give this back to us to actually smite the seas so that our people can now walk into the wilderness. The Ark of the Covenant must be found first. We're going to be going into that and more. Another thing, the base of the Tower of Babel will be a new lesson where we show you the races of all people in the earth. Okay? From the beginning, who they are and what they look like. Ham, Shem, and Japheth. So when you're at a gas station, you can identify the races of people that were at the Tower of Babel based on phenotype, based on who they were before the mixtures began. That and more. The nations at the Tower of Babel is another lesson that we'll be working on, and I hope to see you in the academy to understand where we fit in all of this. Okay, you're going to find out that all these nations were programmed to come against us, knowing that what's coming out of the sky is for us. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. We'll see you tomorrow. If you're not joining us on Patreon, the rest of your brothers and sisters, come on over and let's have a conversation with the doctor. Shalom.